going on, guys? This is another episode of What's Behind the Scene, and I have an amazing guest with me today. This man actually works in transportation, another field that people might not know goes together with production in general. That goes for TV, movies, commercials, etc., etc. But I'm so happy to have him here today, everybody. This is Will. We just gonna cut it off at Will.
Yeah.
Ah,
That works for me. Yeah. Hey, Chaunte.
what's going on, Will? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me come over. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
We met. We met and we've been hanging out pretty much. But I just got into conversation with you. Didn't realize that you worked in production. I want to start off with just going. You work in transportation.
Yeah.
Let's start off with what does that entail?
Well, studio transportation. So anything that's truck driven on a union show has to be driven by a Teamster, local 399 Teamster. And that's anything like forklift. I mean, it used to be like, I guess back in the day, golf carts and stuff were, supposed to be us, but all that's kind of weeded out a little bit. So big trucks, the big lift gates on the back end. You see them driving around everywhere. That's
y'all?
Or the stake beds or.
Now, when you say transportation, we talking about celebrities. We talking about crew. Oh, so sometimes. So what else? Who else?
If you're doing the vans, you'll have celebrities sometimes. The show,
Turn off your phone. You are being interviewed right now.
Just have acceptance, okay?
That was the sign for me.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you always think to even get into transportation, or how did that come about?
I was just driving along. I got my Class A license years ago, and I was just cruising along, doing my long runs from East Coast and back. And one day I got a call from my sister saying, "Hey, you wanna drive for the studios?" And I was like, "Is that a fucking job?" Okay, sure. What the fuck? Whatever,
right.
And from there, I just had to wait till the timing was right. Later on that year, and got my days to get in, and it's my dream job.
Yeah,
absolutely my dream job.
Why would you call it your dream job?
Yeah, I always love when I watch TV or movies. I always just love how where it's at. Like just a picture where things, just the whole production that goes behind it, without ever knowing what's actually going on. I've always wondered and thought about it, and just love the whole creative aspect of it.
Yeah,
and then I love to drive.
So
it was like fucking perfect. Like, oh, great. And I could take naps all day long when I'm working. Yeah, I mean, and I love napping. So it's like, I mean, you can't, the amount of things that make this just the most beautiful job for me.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I started off in production as a PA. And again, I love doing this interview podcast show because there's, again, so many jobs that go into making the stuff that we love to watch on the screen. And so many people that have to deal with the headache of, when you're kind of at bottom when it comes to PA and transportation. Y'all a little better. That's because
we can see you over there. That's
because they don't want you to crash the car.
We are important.
Yeah, but with that,
PRs are very important too.
Yeah, well, they're important, but they're treated completely different.
It's like the grunt work to get in, because when you're a PA, then that's where you figure out which avenue you want to go to.
Yeah.
And that's for like the on-production side of things. Not too many of them ever become Teamsters. Even though they want to sit on their ass all day.
Yeah.
But just they don't want to get a license.
Yeah.
A license to do it. So.
Yeah. That makes sense. What do you? Oh my gosh. So sometimes you drive around celebrities, and I think this is true for even studio or anybody with a high title might feel. But I know you to be a people person, and I know you're always making jokes. You always want to talk and stuff like that, but just always smiling.
Yeah.
How do you finagle that with the industry that we're in? Because I know everybody's not nice to you.
Yeah, because that's usually they don't put me in a van because I'm like an actual truck driver.
Yeah.
So usually put me in a van. And a van is where you'll be driving like around the cast, first team and stuff like that. I remember driving around Opry Plaza on a Legend a few years back, and she was really cool.
Yeah.
I always thought she was fascinating every time I watched her on screen.
Yeah.
But actually, being in the van with her, talking with her, was really cool. But beginning of this year, when I was on Rap Shit season 2, oh man, it's just like I well, I was a van. That was my job, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna have the best fucking time. I'm gonna be I'm gonna band that plays music."
Yeah.
And I was always there picking up. I was making sure I was there picking up first tee, picking up. Man, those girls were so great too.
Yeah.
They loved it. They come in the van, and music was playing.
Yeah.
Bumping with me. It was great. Yeah, it was so. I mean, I had such memories. I was like, I know that anytime you go pick up first team, like other shows, you're like. Just like, okay, you're just like, like you're like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
you're get them to there, it'd be cool. It's all good,
No, I love that. I love that. It's so. Would you say? Because you're from where?
I'm from here. I'm a Valley boy.
You're a Valley guy.
Yeah, born and raised Reseda.
Do you feel like it's so interesting because most people know they want to work in production or do stuff like that, and there are, like you said, a lot of jobs that help out. You get to learn, you get to do things. But just throwing this out here, this is a side note, but you are also arts and crafty. You build stuff, you paint. I've seen him take a book of a cover and rebuild the cover and paint it, and he's so excited about that.
Yeah.
Do you ever expect to use that into production?
Well, if I get my days into 44 doing set dressing, yeah, because I've done some set dressing on a couple of commercials, and I had so much fun. I was actually on set and on stage, and it was just like moving stuff around. It was like, I mean, it's really easy. Like, hey, move this, and then put it right back in the same exact spot. I mean, it's just kind of fun stuff. But in those situations, you always got to figure out you're putting stuff on the walls. Especially at somebody's house. You take off their stuff, but you put on the stuff that we want.
Yeah.
But you got to put it up there so you don't rip off their paint. So there's all these little things that you got to do, techniques, which are just like a lot of cool stuff that I learned in the commercials and stuff that I've done.
Because you haven't started, because you weren't working towards being a transpo guy, do you have any feedback on how one would go about getting that type of job? It's so random, right?
Yeah, it's a closed loop system. I mean, you got to know somebody to get it.
Yeah.
It's like the mafia kind of thing.
You
got to be vouched for.
Yeah.
Kind of shit. It's just it's so weird.
And it's crazy because it's just driving.
Yeah, because you got to wait for. For one thing, you got to wait for permits. To go into. So there's got to be everybody in the union who wants to work has to be working before. They go into permit outside hires.
Yeah.
That's where you start getting your days. But then at that, you got to make sure you get on a show that actually counts for days, and make sure that coordinator will hire you. So it's just
that's because you're not really dealing with the executives and stuff. There's this whole other team that's using people to hire and stuff like that. And I know that goes for a lot of departments. You have to do hours to get a certain number of hours to be able to join the union, so you're protected. For benefits, for payment and so many other things. That's really interesting. You got to have a permit. You got to do so much.
Not a permit. They call it permits because they're permitted to hire outside the union because everybody's working, so they need somebody to fill this spot.
Yeah.
And since they don't have anybody in the union that can do it right now because they're all booked, they can go outside the scope of the union and start pulling people in. And that's how you get your days.
God.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I want to get into the nitty gritty of why I really had you here. This is because you were telling me so many stories. And again, sometimes you may deal with celebrities or people with high titles and positions and stuff like that. Let's get into these stories, man. What has been... Tell me, let's just get into some crazy stories working on set.
Well, I mean, let's see. And of course, the most recent one was the Beyonce music video, and that was just nuts because it was like, okay, here we're shooting it's gonna be like a 2-day reshoot. Okay, cool, all right, 2-day reshoot, whatever. Ends up being 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on lots of I've been on stuff where you got a line producer or UPM that's counting all the dollars they gave a shit. There was nobody to give a shit about. The money was being out there because she wanted options. So I was doing set tech and driver hyphenate stuff. So I was always picking up I mean, we had trucks of options for her music video, which I get it. It's artistic. She needs all this stuff. And that's great. But I've never seen it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like in this neighborhood in Tarzana. It was all over we owned the neighborhood.
This is Beyonce.
Yeah.
She's a goddess.
It was like anytime we went to the prop houses, came back, it was like we always were missing something. Or something was broken because it'd been sitting out for weeks. It was like crazy, but that was a hell of a music video, and it was. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Of course, I've heard all kinds of stories. I've heard stories that it got totally they're just gonna redo it again. I'm like, wow. I want to be back on that because they paid me $10,000 one week. I was like, I mean,
this is one of them.
$10,000. I never made that much money, but that was because I worked every single day. 17, 18 hours a day. And at that rate that I was getting because you're doing hyphenate work, it was beautiful.
Is that the normal hours?
No. I mean, it can be. It all depends.
Yeah.
But this was supposed to be 2-day reshoot. They get a day in the front and a day in the back, so maybe 4 days. No.
That mean the producers made no money.
They made their. I don't know. She's a producer. So
there's producers that deal with the budget, and sometimes they try to keep it at a certain point because then they can split that later.
I'll do
if they don't have to give it back to the investors.
I'll do anything for Beyonce.
Yeah. Did you meet her?
I almost bumped into her. I saw her twice. We're moving the seashell thing in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I look over, she's sitting on the thing. I'm like, oh, Beyonce. I was like, wow. There's Beyonce.
Yeah,
wow. And another time we were sitting right there, and we're waiting to go onto set to move something, and next thing you know, oh shit, she's coming right here. She just came right at me like that. I was like, oh shit, that was.
And you ain't try to slip a shoulder or something.
No. I mean, I was looking a little muscular at that time, so I was like, I was hoping she was looking at me.
That is such enough though to just be in a. See, I couldn't work for Beyonce because nothing would get done. I'll be like this the whole time, just staring at her, thinking, I would just be out of sight.
I'd be like, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
It's
the opposite.
I'll be saying that in my head, but I don't know if I'll be able to deliver that. Would you? So you told me that you did something on this Beyonce set. What? Well, I don't want to ask too much because I don't want.
Well,
what video was this?
I don't know.
That you
I didn't know yet.
You said they had sex toys on there.
Well, this video we had 20 different sets in these two houses. So I mean, it was just going back and forth, and one of the sets was this sex set or whatever, and so at the end of the shoot, whatever was a purchase, because stuff that we buy from or we rent from the prop houses, we take back.
Yeah.
And there's the purchases, which is just okay, go to the store. Buy shit.
Yeah.
Well, they bought a bunch of sex shit, sex toy stuff, and
you can't bring those back. I've learned that the hard way.
And so a lot of stuff we took over to her warehouse, and in the process of moving all, from the first part of the video, I guess, was all in that warehouse, since we had to move everything around. This big giant billboard.
Yeah.
Size of her. I don't know. It was amazing to see Beyonce this big.
Yeah.
And it's where, and we had a pasty. I was right there, holy shit! That was just in the back. I was had to go right to it.
Yeah.
But so
you took the pasty?
No. It's this billboard. There's no way I could take it. But because there's sections of her.
Oh, got you.
So if you know what I'm talking about.
You took the ass section? That's the one I'd have took that.
I don't think the billboard would have been big enough for that.
Right. I love it, man. Would you say that that's the craziest set that you worked on?
Oh yeah, that was nuts. I mean, it was nuts because it rained out of nowhere and we were just scrambling. And I mean, we're across the streets. We're on this tiny, it's a neighborhood in Tarzana. So you can put cars on both sides, but it kind of goes like this. And there's an elementary school here, and there's a junior high or elementary school up this hill, and this is the one way.
Yeah.
And this is where our set's at. And so at 7 and 3, it was this. I called it the Gauntlet You know, because everybody was going to go pick up their kid, and so we're sitting in this big truck trying to come through, and and the cops were there always every day to, you know, okay, come on, but you couldn't see, so it was just on that alone was nuts. Yeah, couldn't pick the worst spot.
Now I don't know how you go from Beyonce to Favor Flav, but you worked with him too.
No, did not work with him.
Oh, you didn't work.
This was another life. Just out of nowhere. Okay, this is 17 years ago, probably. I'm thinking right now, 17, 18 years ago. Yeah, I was just sitting there hanging out with this lady. We were smoking some weed, and we're sitting there. And I'm like, so, you know, I see this, like, we're in my car and we're trucking, and I see this little black guy in my side mirror go like run behind him, like, he shoots off a mortar. I'm like, hey, who was that? It's like, oh, let's just play Flav. I'm like, oh shit. So I got out, and sure enough, yeah, it's Flavor Flav, lighting up mortars by Van Nuys Airport. He had little Heelys on too, so these guys clock, and he's shooting him off, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, what? Why is he here?
Yeah. I thought he was working on the set with him.
No. And so Perks, I guess, from Jodeci back in the day, you know, JoJo, Devonte.
You worked with them too?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I'm just getting like, this is back before I even had, this is when I had nothing. I was nobody, living in my truck too at times, you know? So, hanging out with stripper girls smoking pot.
Yeah.
That was a life ago, okay? But in that life right there, I guess Flavor Flav would come. You'd go hang out with Devonte, because I guess Devonte had a hip hop studio in the front of this.
That was in Burbank, right?
This was in Van Nuys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I seen him at Burbank. But go ahead.
Yeah. So it was crazy. That was a because I ended up being homeless for a while, you know, through this whole situation, and it was just like, you know, so. Some of the guys from New York we'd get in my truck, we'd go steal a bunch of meat, come back, and we'd barbecue it up, Flavor Flav, flipping the burgers and steak and shit, you know. It was fucking funny, you know. And then, like, cause I went and I got a basketball hoop for the guys, you know, cause we're like in the middle of, there's no parks around, and like that. So I went and I stole a basketball hoop from somebody. Yeah, and I got it.
Was it the thing that sits on the back?
And put it on there. I was like, all right. These guys are gonna love this, you know. And so I brought it, and they were fucking good jazz, and that was cool because I love playing basketball too. And but it was funny was seeing Devonte come out there and play, because Devonte is a serious artist. Yeah, like he's like the, you know, I mean, just he's an artistic guy. So watching him try and shoot a hoop is not. No. It was great though. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, man. What are the pros and cons, would you say it is to work into transportation?
Pros and cons. I try not to think of any cons. Pros is just a better way of life. Yeah. I mean, I always wanted to work in a union because I don't know, I always was one of my little goals I always wanted to have happen, and it didn't happen until it was like 35 or something like that. And but being in a union, you know, all the benefits and stuff like that is great. Yeah. But man, in this industry, like every day you go to work, people are happy to be there. Yeah. You're working with people that just smile, and I love to smile. Yeah. So it's like, and you just get someplace and people are just happy, and you're just like, you know, they just love their life. Yeah. They're loving their life right now. It's like, fuck yeah. Yeah. You know, and it's just such a great fucking feeling. So when you're just, instead of going to other jobs, you say, people like, it's Monday. It's Monday. No, fucking hey, it's Monday. Yeah. Fucking Monday into Saturday. Give me 7 days in a row. I don't care. I'll be here there every single day. So I love my job.
That's a beautiful thing, because I know when I was working as a production assistant that you love the fact that you're in there, but there's just so many things. Before we get out of here, I know you say, like, you know, driving people and loving what you do and stuff like that, but there are people that kind of get overly excited when they're working in this industry, and there's ways to maneuver around people of stature sometimes, right? So I say that, yeah. I say that though because there's people that might want to get this job, that might want to, figure out how to get into it. But my question is, what advice would you give to people trying to handle different moods and different personalities when you're driving them around?
Oh man, I think that little book I had, acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just acceptance. Just people are going to be people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all you can do. I mean, whatever happened to them during the day,
Yeah.
I care, but I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you come into my band and I'm happy, don't try to bring me down.
Yeah.
Don't tell me to bring down my music. Don't even think about it. Because that's gonna fire me up. Like I'm a big,
Yeah.
my smile's gonna get even bigger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get even happier. I'm gonna be like, no fucking way you're gonna leave unhappy right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not bringing. I just can't. But so it's just sometimes people are. Well, I see they overly excited when you said that, and you remind me of picking up audience members from World of Dance back when I was getting my days in a bus. And so all these people, these young kids, were able to get on the bus after the day they've been sitting around, standing around, and they just had the greatest fucking time.
Yeah.
And they're just partying up in the bus, like, I'm fucking right. We're at Universal Studios Live. I'm taking the bus up to there. And we're just doing the small drive up to there, and they're just having a great fucking time.
Yeah.
I normally I'd be like, hey, don't sit, you gotta sit down while I'm driving, but I'm like,
just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it. Just having fun. Yeah, we're not, there's no cars. We're not going to hit any stoplights, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like go do a cartwheel down the fucking road.
Yeah.
I
love it. And I usually meet great transpo people when I work on set, but it's a beautiful thing to come in with that happiness and understanding sometimes you have to read the room, and being able to work with just different personalities, moods, all those things. So.
Yeah, because I will say I've come into places where I'm just too much. I'm like,
yeah. You know how to step back?
Yeah. Right, I'm like, all right, without saying some smart ass comment, but it's hard not to.
Right. Turn the volume up.
Yeah.
Man, well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I love to just hear that story and that job in the industry. There's so many things that we don't know about. Just like in school, you know what I mean? Try to find every position, because had I known that I could have just drove people around and had a lot of time to myself.
Remember when you look at that call sheet?
Yeah.
There's that's the on production. There's an off production side, which is more than that.
Yeah.
All the people that are getting it done. This is the day of. These are the people that are getting it done the day before and the day after.
See, this is all right. One more question because you brought it up. I want to ask, because you said there's two different call sheets.
Well, there's not two different call sheets, but there's on production,
which is
day of, and there's off production.
Do you guys have different rules of how things are supposed to be when you're driving people around? Meaning, I know in production, like PA shouldn't be in celebrity space, or you might want to watch out for the network and stuff like that. You want to be working. So is transportation obligated to, I guess, take shit? That's really is so. I guess is transportation able to take shit? But I know that messed me up.
No, the take shit part, which I make gruff,
yeah. So in other words, like a PA will probably have to deal with, like, if a celebrity or a network or a crew is rude, they pretty much got to take it because that's their position and they're at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, not teachers, we don't have to take it.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she ain't going anywhere without us.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, what have we done? We're just sitting here.
Right.
Why are you yelling at us?
Right.
If you are yelling, like, go find a dog to yell at or kick. I don't give a shit. Don't do that. Yeah. But
Yeah. Get your shit out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This is another episode of What's Behind the Scenes, and this is What's Behind Transportation. Is there anything you want to tell them? Anywhere they can find you, or just any shout out you want to give?
Yeah, well, if you see me, hopefully you see me wearing the shirt.
Have a badass, beautiful day.
Yeah.
That shirt is hard. All right, Will, thank you so much, man, for doing this.
Yeah,
we'll see you guys next week on What's Behind the Scenes.